Hi, my name is Mark Tachna, and welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel, The Media Nerd. My company, Colorado Springs Video, has been transferring old media for over 20 years now. And in this video, I'm going to talk about why VHS tapes deteriorate over time. If you've got a box of old home movies sitting around in your closet, your attic, or your basement, this is the video you're not going to want to miss. I'm going to talk about the science, the storage, the solutions, and what you can do right now to save your old tapes before it's too late. What VHS tapes are made of. To understand why VHS tapes degrade, we need to know how they're built. Essentially, they're made up of long strips of magnetic tape that is wound inside of a plastic case. And the magnetic tape has three key layers. Base film. Usually made of mylar, this is the physical foundation. Binder layer. Holds magnetic particles in place. Magnetic layer. Tiny metal oxide particles that store the actual video and audio signals. Well, over time, each layer is vulnerable to different types of damage. The enemies of the VHS tape. Let's now talk about what destroys VHS tapes. Well, humidity and moisture, for example. If you live in states such as Florida, Texas, California, even Hawaii, where there's a lot of rain and a lot of moisture, that can do a lot of damage to your poor VHS tape. The moisture and humidity causes binder hydrolysis, also known as sticky shed syndrome, which leads to mold growth on the surface of the tape. And the tapes get gummy and can jam in VCRs. Temperature extremes can damage your tape. It can warp the plastic housing, it can cause the magnetic tape to flake or shed, and it can also accelerate chemical breakdown. Magnetic fields can kill your VHS tape. So if you have a big speaker by your TV and you have your tapes sitting around that speaker, most likely your tapes are going to get erased. It's also called degaussing. When I was in college and communications, we would do all of our shooting on VHS tapes, and we would reuse these tapes over and over again. And what we would do is put them in this magnetic box, and it would erase the tape. And that's exactly what something like a speaker would do. It would erase your family memories. Playback damage. Every time you put the VHS tape in your VCR and hit play, it slowly deteriorates the tape. But what can also damage the tape in the VCR are dirty playheads and misaligned playheads. So always make sure to check that out. Poor storage. Storing your tapes flat and on top of each other can eventually warp your tape. Also, storing them in the attic, where there's absolutely no temperature or humidity control, will kill your tapes. And putting them in the basement, there might be some temperature control, but if you have them on the floor and it floods, say goodbye to your memories. Signs of a deteriorating tape. So how do you know if your VHS tape is deteriorating? Well, here's some red flags to look out for. Put your tape in the VCR and you see on the TV, you're getting these spots, you're getting static, you're getting little stars. That's one sign. The audio, if the audio is like warbly a little bit, it's getting muffled and it's clear muffled, or there's no audio at all, deteriorating. If the reels are sticky or stuck, they're just not turning properly, that's a sign. Also, mold. If you see mold on your tape, bad. And also, if your VCR is squealing, making weird noise when playing, those are the signs that you have to act fast and do something about. How to slow or stop deterioration? Well, unfortunately, you can't reverse the deterioration of your tape, but you can slow it down and or stop it. And here's some good tips on how to do that. Storage location. Make sure that you have your tapes in a dry, cool place, like 60 to 70 degrees Fahrenheit and 40 to 50 humidity level. Store your tapes in a vertical position, like this. Basically, remember when you went to Blockbuster and they have all the tapes on display? Well, it wasn't just so you could read the label, the packaging, but they also had the tapes lined up behind it. And that was because they were keeping those tapes in really good condition by storing them vertically. Now, if you can find archival plastic cases, that's another great way to keep your tapes while in a vertical position. Now, like I said earlier in this video, make sure to keep your tapes away from electronics and magnetic fields. Also, make sure to rewind your tape when you're done, and that'll relieve the tension of the tape. If you see any mold or mildew, make sure to clean the mold and mildew. And also, if you're gonna continue to play your tapes, make sure that your VCR is well maintained. You know, clean it every once in a while. That's a really good tip. Most importantly, beyond everything else, get your tapes digitized. You know, I have a lot of videos on this channel showing different ways to digitize tapes, whether it be a Mac or a PC or standalone devices. Those are great ways to do it yourself. Now, you can also take it to a local shop if you have one to get your tapes transferred as well. And that is always a great thing to do because they really know what they're doing. What happens if you wait too long? You know, like I said, I've been in business for over 20 years and I have clients coming in and out all the time, dropping off tapes. Some of them are 25, 30, 35 years old, really old tapes. And most of the time they're in good condition and I can transfer them very easily, but sometimes they're not. And like I said earlier, you gotta keep them away from magnetic fields. Make sure that they're in a good storage environment so it doesn't get all mold and mildewy. And also, don't play your tapes in an old VCR that you found or bought at a garage sale or a thrift store. That will kill your tape. If you have an old box of VHS tapes of home movies, don't wait. Make sure to get them digitized. Digitize it yourself. And if you don't have the means or the time to be able to do it yourself, I would love to be able to help you out. You can contact me via email at cospringsvideo@gmail.com, or you can go to my website, www.coloradospringsvideo.com. I do have a special order form that you can fill out and send to me. I'll look through it and I'll give you an estimate. If you like what you see, box up your tapes and send them my way, and I will get them digitized for you. So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Make sure to subscribe, like, and ring that bell for future notifications. I hope you have a wonderful day.